Speedway Report is produced by Zeus Radio Network for Racers Reunion Radio. Well, Ferrari has the momentum as we go into the late stages of the World Championship, but Mercedes actually pulled off a surprise. Racers and media have been an ongoing story for, and Steve Torrence doesn't add to the gracious side of race car drivers. And the siren at the Dawsonville Pool Hall is getting a workout on Sundays again. And more coming up. Welcome to Speedway for Monday, September the 30th, 2019. From the shores of Lake City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina. I'm Patrick Reynolds, and thank you for joining the fastest half hour in racing. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Yes, Speedway Report as a YouTube channel. Just search for us on the big Google machine when you go to YouTube, and all of our will be deposited right into your inbox. No reason to wait on a Monday night. We know the nature of the world. You don't have to be here each Monday. If you are, and if not, you can go to YouTube and pick us up anytime. Glad all of you are here, especially our West Coast friends as they finish out the last 30 minutes of their workday with Speedway Report. We won't tell the boss. Let's head over to the victory lane lap and let's see who won what over the weekend. NASCAR Energy Cup Series was, well, home track to me. They were in Charlotte, North Carolina here on the Roval yesterday afternoon. They went 400 kilometers, and it was a pretty good race. Chase Elliott comes back from nosing his car into the fence early in the race to the check run. Bill Elliott was always a long-distance driver. His son Chase knows ain't over till it's over. Chase Elliott, your winner of the Roval 400. Saturday, the Xfinity cars went for 250 kilometers. Dinger, A.J. Allmendinger, finally cracks victory lane. He had several top threes taken away with tech infractions this past year. Keeps a trophy and a nice check with the win at the Roval. NASCAR's Whelen Modified Tour closed out the season at the Stafford Motor Speedway yesterday afternoon with the annual fall final, 50 laps for the tour. The 66 tour starts yesterday. Win number one. Lutz, your winner at the fall final at Stafford. NASCAR's K&N West machines were in Idaho for the Meridian 208 laps. Derek Kraus, like that lap number, just out in Idaho. Sunday morning, the Formula One circus was in Russia, Sochi, where they had the Olympics a few years ago. Lewis Hamilton was your winner. No, not a typical run. Mercedes. We'll talk about that in a little bit. NHRA was in St. Louis, Missouri, and in Top Fuel had a father-son final. Billy Torrance defeated his son Steve in the final there. In Funny Car, Sean Langdon beat J.R. Todd, in a Kalitta final. I'll get the words out right yet. And Pro Stock, let me nail this. Erica Enders got her first win since 2008. And in Pro Stock Motorcycle, Karen Stouffer wins for the first time since 2015. Looking over your victory lane in your finals at the NHRA, I think over the years, every single one of those people has been a guest here on this show before. World of Outlaw Sprint Cars raced Friday night at the Eldora Speedway, part of the Four Crown Nationals. They were the opening night. Logan Schuchart was your A-main winner. On over to Lernerville, Pennsylvania, and Brad Sweet takes the checkered flags. Now let's talk about USAC and the Four Crown Nationals, one of arguably their biggest race of the year. On the half-mile dirt track at Eldora have their three premier divisions. Silver Crown feature taken by Brady Bacon, the sprints by Tyler Courtney, and the midgets. Courtney took both of those, so we went 2 out of 3 at the Four Crown Nationals. Big race for the big block dirt modifieds up in New York. Fonda, New York, they went 200 laps, winning $53,000 for the first place prize. Gave away the winner there, Stuart Friesen, your winner on the Mohawk River. And the annual Race of Champions for the pavement modifieds in Lake Erie, Pennsylvania was taken by big money Matt Hirschman for the 5th year in a row and 7th overall in his career. Nice check, $12,500 for the ROC. All righty, I led top off the show, gave you a little bit of a tease here with who I heard about on the Fox Sports broadcast, how he doesn't want to talk to the reporters during the broadcast of the Fox Sports episode. The color and all these things in my head when I say, well, Steve Torrance doesn't want to talk to reporters. They're rattling off everything that just Rolodex and speed flew through my mind. I was like, you don't want to talk to reporters, huh? Okay. You talk to reporters anyway. This isn't stick and ball baby sports or we cry in a locker room. This is auto racing. Publicity, advertising makes this sport happen. You will talk to the media. All forms of auto racing can take Richard Petty as the races. He stayed around. When they took a pickup truck and an open trailer, he was there building. When the races were over, every fan got an autograph. When was he done signing? There were no left to sign autographs for. As far as the media, he taught Adam Petty says, your job isn't done till their job is done. You stay, you talk, every quote, every question. When everybody else leaves, then Richard Petty can go home. This is an example that can be shown to everybody in all of motorsports. There are so many that follow this, but when I heard Torrance didn't want to talk to reporters, slap my TV. So what, are you kidding me? Part of being a champion, part of being an athlete is talking through thick and thin. And the commentators on the drag racing broadcast beat me to it because they were live and spoke about this over the weekend, but it was everything that was going through my head, so I can honestly say these are original thoughts, even though some similarly to that I do. In motorsports, if you win, it is great. Everybody's your friend. You can give a great interview, hoist the trophy, celebrate. It's fine. When you don't win, there's still a big story to be told there. Your sponsors, your fans, and the sport, you all owe it to talk about it, to tell them what happened. Thrill of victory, agony of defeat. Jim McKay quoted it in Wide World of Sports. That is what makes. All we heard from are the winners that are celebrating, that have the trophies, that have the celebration. You have a small piece of the story. A lot of the story, a lot of the heart, human emotion, the feeling of sports is felt in the guys or women that were defeated. That's part of the story. And like Petty taught us, your job isn't done until the reporter's job is done. You stay, you talk. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to smile. You don't have to thank God, Goodyear, and Gatorade. It's cool. You can be mad. You can be upset. But you owe everybody your take. They want to hear it. They want to hear what went wrong. They want to hear what went right. That was tough to say, too. They want to hear your side of the story. Thrill of victory, agony of defeat. I think you're a baby if you turn tail and don't talk. Everybody wants to hear your take, Steve. Everybody, whether you win, that's part of the story. That is part of sports, not just auto racing, certainly not just drag racing. But that's part of what you signed up for as a race car driver. You talk to the media upside down. If you're physically able to speak, you can. That raw emotion that pours out, that's one of the things that auto racing fans take to. Is you think about other sports, if we'll take professional baseball as I use this analogy a lot, is if any player on a team strikes out, takes strike 3, and then is walking back to the bench. Between the plate and the bench, if a television reporter stopped and asked him, put a camera in his face with a microphone, and said, hey, man, what do you think? How'd you feel about strike 3? What do you think the guy's going to say? However, in auto racing, we have that access where it just happens. The driver climbs out of the car, and there's a television camera in his face. Well, Steve, what did you think about losing the final? Well, duh, what do you think he's going to say? The sport. That's That's what makes us different from a lot of other sports. NASCAR would get rid of playoffs to stop being like other sports. Dead horse every week. In any event, talking to the media, no matter what, that's part of it. You deserve to talk to them. They deserve, the fans and especially the sponsors deserve to have you opinion in that camera. This sport wouldn't happen without any dollars and money, and sponsors are us. All of us treat the media properly. Get your name out there, get your sponsors out there, get the series out there, no matter what it is. And any local mini stock dirt track on your local Saturday night short track can take that same example. It's the same thing. Any young kids watching this, you want to further your career, show grace in defeat and show some humility in victory, but talk to the media and let everybody know how you feel. You can still show some class and some style and still show some emotion even in defeat. Steve Torrence, you should be talking to the media no matter what happens. Now let's hop from straight lines to some turns to left and right. I was following the Grand Prix in the early stages on Friday, practice and qualify on Saturday, and the speed was there for the Ferraris. And I'm thinking, what in the world has happened this season for this dominance snooze fest that the Mercedes were putting on through the first half of the season? Well, Ferrari's done their homework. They've gone to work, and now they've got a lot of steam under the hoods. They've made up some ground. Dare say they're faster than their Mercedes cars right now. Lewis Hamilton was still able to break up a all-Ferrari front row in qualifying on Saturday. So we had Ferrari, Mercedes, and Ferrari. And I thought, well, that's a good lap for Hamilton. I don't know. Those Ferraris still look like... And they did. Leclerc and Vettel took off from the field. They were 1 and 2. Vettel takes the lead. And we get into team orders, where Vettel was told to let Leclerc back by. He did not. Leclerc was upset. And lo and behold, Vettel has a mechanical issue. Breaks. Virtual safety car comes in. Lewis Hamilton a pit stop under car. And the race is pretty much handed to Mercedes with all the speed that the Ferraris had, the team orders, the plan, and Mercedes come out 1-2. Now, Valtteri Bottas drove a great race as he was under a lot of pressure from Leclerc in the late stages for the last 2 spots on the podium. But Mercedes went 1-2, so they had a great race. But there was no way I was putting serious money on Mercedes getting 1-2. Ferrari barely cracking the podium at all. So the irony there of Ferrari breaking, and then pretty much they handed the win with the timing of all of it to Mercedes with their speed. Ferraris are faster. I'll say that again as we head into the next race. Ferraris are still faster than Mercedes right now. Hamilton's got a pretty big lead. His world championship, I wouldn't call inevitable, but it certainly looks like a strong possibility right now. But if he good luck, I'm outrunning the Mercedes right now. Leclerc he may run the table for the rest of the year and then look out in 2020 for a world title. But Hamilton and Mercedes have got to be looking over their shoulder. But there's some interesting times in Formula One for my oval track fans. I'll stick with the road course racing as we jump from Formula One here to the United States and the Roval at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As I watched that on TV yesterday, and yes, I was watching on NBC. I actually watched a cup race, stages and all. Yes, I watched that. But also, I had my laptop up and I had Fans Choice TV on, and I was watching the modified feature. I was watching the afternoon of racing up in Connecticut, and just plain as can be, the racing at Stafford definitely captured my attention than the Roval did at Charlotte. Not that there's anything wrong with running the road course at Charlotte. That's fine, I guess. I don't know. It's an oval track series. I think we should do all ovals. I think we should eliminate all road courses, but we got some in there. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. I had short track on the internet from Stafford, and that was capturing my attention far more than NBC. Roval is. I think it's the style of racing. I've been far disenchanted with cup racing versus the always what I grew up on, short track racing. Eyes glued to Stafford, looked like a glorious day up there in Connecticut. It certainly was a hot one down here in Charlotte. Nice to see Craig Lutz get his first feature win. But the folks at Fan Choice with 4 cameras, I think, just can't. I was more interested in that than the NBC coverage. Roval. All right, whatever. Playoffs, you lose me. The elimination, the cut lines, I chuckle at that. I mean, just you lose me every time. And Stafford, fall final, Fans Choice TV, 150 laps. Okay, I'm in. This is what it should be. This is what it's all about. It's more simpler, easier to follow, bigger love for me. So head with NBC, you had my eyeballs and my ears far better. So we talked about Formula One and Vettel and Charles. Not happy with Vettel right now because Vettel wouldn't let him by, but Vettel broke anyway. Now we had the brouhaha after the Roval with Alex Bowman and Bubba Wallace. What did you think? I want to see that in the comments below here. I want to hear about Alex Bowman and Bubba Wallace. People keep one up far enough to last week and the week before. And this thing, I think, goes deep, deep, deep where maybe these guys don't even remember it starting. But we always pick it up where a guy did this, so a guy retaliated. And this could be weeks, months, years old, where there's a saying that we used to say, his number's on my dashboard. Meaning I know who the guy is. It might take me years, but I'm going to race him differently. I'm going to get even with him. And his number's on my dashboard. In which case, these two, Bowman and Wallace, certainly are on each other's dashboard. What did you think? Bubba Wallace goes over to Alex Bowman. Alex suffering from heat exhaustion as it was so hot at I understand that. But Wallace kind of threw water on him while he's getting medical attention. I don't know. I'm not into the dramatic showmanship, social media type of thing. If guys want to fight, let's duke it out. Let's do it for real. But Bowman was on the ground. The medics were tending to him. I don't know. If you're pissed off like Wallace, I kind of see that. Bowman was pissed at Wallace anyway for throwing his middle finger up at him. They crashed on the first lap together. So they're mad at each other right away, but it goes back weeks and weeks and weeks. This is, comments below, please. Comments for the show. What did you think of how Alex Bowman drove Bubba Wallace? What did you think about how Bubba Wallace drove Alex Bowman? What did you think of the water that at Bowman? Right? Who's in the wrong? What do you think? I want to hear from you guys. I do. I want to see, are we happy with the spark under Bubba? Was it dirty pool because Alex was intended to do something wrong? Talk to me, people. I want to see in the comments what you think about all that. That's good stuff we could talk about on social media. Lord knows it's gotten enough traction in the last couple of days between the two of them. Now, with an American audience, I don't know if Vettel and Leclerc will give it as much. But, yeah, if you want to chime in on that too. These guys, they're not happy with each other. I'm not a team orders type of guy, but in the form of business, you're getting a paycheck from the boss. Boss says do something, you're supposed to do it. But Vettel has no desire to be driver number 2 at Ferrari right now behind Leclerc. Those are the two battles I want to talk about. Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc. Tell me. Alex Bowman versus Bubba Wallace. Tell me. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. Can you believe on the dirt that there's a guy other than Donnie Schatz leading the championship standings at the World? I didn't know that was possible in the last 10 years since Jason Myers was running. Come on. Brad Sweet currently leads the championship battle. He won this past weekend over Schatz. I can't remember the last time on the show when we talked about the champions at the end of the year that I didn't say Donnie Schatz's name after the World of Outlaws. I'd have to look it up as to when Myers actually won it. I don't know. But Schatz has just been the champ for so long. into October 1st by tomorrow, if you're watching the show live, Sweet actually leads the championship standings. People, we have got a title battle in the world of outlaw sprint cars. And there's no play. Go figure. I thought it was pretty cool that Joseph Newgarden turned some at Charlotte. Goes to show that the conversation between an IndyCar and NASCAR doubleheader weekend just will not go away. It keeps going strong. Momentum keeps going and going and going. I'd like to see the IndyCars back on the oval. I know the tragedy we had there almost 20 years ago, but safety aspects can be improved. I never thought we should quit something because of a tragedy. I always thought we should improve the safety because of this tragedy instead. But even on the Roval, let's bring the IndyCars in. I would love to see an IndyCar NASCAR at some point at one of these tracks. Enough tracks can facilitate it. It's just a matter of making it happen, which I think is a monumental task. None of you has got to have unless you run a day night. But if one of you is the feature on Saturday and the other one on Sunday, you'd have to have go check it. I think that's an underlying current between the car stars right now. But as a guy that lives in Charlotte, I'd love to see the IndyCars come back to the track here. And I posted this on Facebook earlier today. Over the weekend, Carly Lloyd got married. But after his crash in 2018 at Pocono, Wicken said, "I am going to dance with my bride at our wedding." I'll be darned. I don't know exactly. I didn't attend, but there's a nice photo, and Robert is standing next to Carly. Unbelievable. That is fantastic and an amazing photo. Go to our Facebook page and check it out. Or just go to, no, I'm not going to tell you to go online and just search the internet. Go to my Facebook page, for crying out loud. I want the traffic. Yes, go see the photo. Robert Wickens standing next to his bride, Carly. That's pretty cool. See that, and I hope his recovery continues at that pace. Motor Week Illustrated, the show and its ideas with our Racer of the Week. Lots of good choices again this week. This was not a far and away slam dunks like it is a few weeks. A lot of good suggestions, a lot of good ideas. But I think once you buckle into a race car and you go win, things you can do, then to get out of that race car and go buckle into another race car right after that and go out in another race in a different race car in a different division and you win again. That is the spirit of a racer. He went 2 out of 3 at the Four Crown Nationals at Eldora. USAC's Tyler is the Speedway Report Racer of the Week. In between our broadcasts, keep up on the world of motorsports with SpeedwayReport.com. This show will be archived there, as well as plenty of articles to read. Catch up with me on social media. Here's the Brigade. Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds on Facebook, as well as Racers Reunion. On Twitter, I'm at Speedway Report and at Speedway Pat, and these shows are archived at racersreunion.com in the forum. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Speedway Report, Speedway Report, subscribe. If Beetlejuice hasn't shown up, YouTube channel. Big thanks to everyone on Facebook Live feed for joining the conversation during the show tonight. And as the autumn clicks by, see a race at a track near you. Support that local racetrack. I want to thank all of the military past and present for the freedoms we enjoy as Americans in our daily life, including the simple things like bench racing right here on a Monday night. Freedom is not free, and a veteran paid that bill for us. To all of the men and women who are defending freedom, Report. Staff, firefighters, police officers, and paramedics in our own communities. They're quiet and modest heroes every single day. God bless and thank you. You have been watching Speedway Report from the shores of Lake Norman, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina. Please like our Facebook page, Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, and follow me on Twitter at Speedway Pat. Now, if you are on Facebook, right, Drag Racing List Facebook page. That's because Drag List Live is coming up in a few minutes. Bill, John, the guests, they got the chit chat of the straight liners. Now I'll be back here live on Facebook October something. 7th. We'll call it first week of October. We will look at NASCAR's triple header at Dover, Martinsville late model stock cars, and a whole bunch of short track racing. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all next week.